Hey there, Internet! Welcome to the Hard On Gear channel, where I discuss and review my used and abused knives and gear so that you know what is or isn't worth spending your hard-earned money on. When I started this channel a few months back, I did not have a lot of these popular models that a lot of folks are familiar with. I used the Recon one for so bloody long that I just never really needed anything else. I'd picked up the Luzon and then eventually the Mannix 2, but in order to provide a lot of good size comparisons, I started picking up other knives like the 940-2, the Kershaw Blur, this fairly standard 8-inch size M16 from CRKT, and of course the R.A.T Model 2. Lots of good size comparisons, except I'm still missing, and have been missing up until this point, one of the best size comparisons, which is the big brother to the R.A.T Model 2, which, boy, bigger than I expected it to be honest, the R.A.T Model 1. Which has currently got this whole tip-down pocket clip situation going on, just like this one did out of the box. Don't know what you're doing there, Ontario Knife Company, but who carries a knife like that? So, okay, I'm liking this a lot better than the Model 2 already. Let's just switch this clip up right quick. Nice, deep screw heads on this on these pocket clip screws. Oop, I did strip a little bit there. But this crappy old tool I've got here is actually done quite well in these, very deep grooved, so we're not slipping too easily in those. Yeah, crisis averted. Pocket clip has been moved to my left-handed carry side, and now we're looking okay. So nothing else in the box here other than the bubble wrap, and well, that's it, just the knife. But the Ontario Model 2, and the same one that I got for my father for Father's Day, if you want to check that video out where I got that, and we went through all the different knives and seen what he was into. Both of those Ontario Model 2 knives came in a box like this. The Model 1 came in this box. I'm not actually sure if that's supposed to be normal or if that's a new box or what. I haven't even looked at any unboxing videos of the Model 1, so let me know in the comments if that's a new thing or if I'm just unfamiliar with what they put each knife in. Okay, so yeah, as I'm getting a hold of this thing, it certainly does just feel like a very sized up version of the Model 2, which is a little too small for my likings. It's EDC size, preferable for a lot of folks. My father, I know, would never carry a knife this large, but this is something he has been carrying, or at least humoring me with for the last couple weeks, trying it out, and he said it hasn't really bothered him too much, and he hasn't really noticed it in his pocket. Something like this, you're going to notice carrying it around on you. R.A.T Model 2 is a little over about 7 inches overall, with that 3-inch blade, about 2 3/4 inches of cutting surface. And the Model 1 is about 8.5 inches. About a 3 3/4 inch blade, about 3 1/4 inches of cutting surface. These unboxings are supposed to be pretty organic. I haven't looked up much of the specs or watched a bunch of videos on the R.A.T Model 1, so I don't know much about what the exact materials and specs are. So if I mess any of this stuff up, just again, down in the comments, let me know what I screwed up. But we should have what I'm assuming is a DLC coating on this AUS-8 blade steel, which is the budget version. You can go with the D2. G10 scales on this sucker, I do believe. I think that's what I ordered. And I did get orange, which if anyone hasn't figured out yet, this is not a color that I typically go for. The Kershaw Blur was a big deal that I ended up getting the blue just because this navy blue M4 version popped up. But aside from the Coyote Brown on that Model 2 and that blue Blur, I don't really have much other than gray and black on my knives. Oh, and I guess there's that, what do they call it, like a bronze for the M16. Yeah, so we've added a little bit of variety to the black collection, which is not super colorful or exciting to a lot of people. But for the most part, if I'm going to carry a knife on a regular basis, it's probably going to be something a little more like this. That's a little, well, I don't say shiny, but it's a little bit showy, a little bit loud in the color department, and I don't really want people's eyes drawn to my knives that are in my pocket. Even that damn satin clip on the Mannix too, just a little too shiny. So I did purchase this mainly as a size comparison and more or less for just material for the channel, just because, again, it's one that everyone's going to be familiar with, or at least most people are going to be familiar with. And in doing this channel, I also want to become familiar with a lot of the knives that I've not used that are the more popular models. So I'm going to put this thing to use. I'll carry it for a bit. I'll put it to work. I'm pretty familiar with the AUS-8, as the Recon 1 here is the old school AUS-8 version, so quite familiar with that steel. It's a pretty darn iron stainless, Japanese made, not too hard at all to sharpen. In fact, it's a dream to sharpen. Oh, and hey there, viewers of the Hog channel. If you wouldn't mind, if you're enjoying this content, go ahead and click the like button, as it helps the channel out and gets this video out to more knife enthusiasts. Subscribe and turn the bell on if you're into that kind of stuff. And if you look down in the description, there's also some Amazon affiliate links for all the knives and gear that are being discussed here if you would like to purchase through there and support the channel, as well as the Hog Patreon. If you want to support that way, all the money will be going towards new knives and gear and equipment for the channel. The plan from the beginning with this one was to replace the Luzon and what is now actually the CRKT M1610BS sitting in my car visor, which is just a little emergency panel I've got up on my car visor, which I got a little video explaining that if that interests you at all. Just a few little emergency things, and then a backup knife just in case I ever want to throw something a little bit cheaper in my pocket if I'm carrying the 940-2 or the Manix 2 and say I'm going into the woods doing some stuff in some pretty thick bush. Maybe I don't want to get tangled up in there and have one of these pop out of my pocket. Be a little bit less of an issue with something like this. Even compared to this, which I have been carrying on the Fireline a little bit, it's gotten quite a bit of use just the last few months as my sort of bush beater / woods carry, whatever. As I've been carrying this in the woods, I'm really enjoying it, but it is a little bit thin in the hand. It's not the most ergonomic. If I drop this thing or it falls out of my pocket in the woods, it's going to have quite a shine to it if the sun hits it. However, it's still going to disappear pretty good if I'm in an overcast or cloudy day. That orange is going to pop up. So this is pretty much going to be my work knife. I'm pretty damn sure, at least. Like a cheap work beater that I'm going to use if I don't want to ruin one of my nice knives. That being said, I'll still be carrying the Manix 2 on me quite a bit, and when I get a paramilitary 2, I want to put that to work. I still plan on using and abusing all these other knives. It's just, if I'm going to be carrying one that I'm going to be running around the woods with, getting in and out of trucks and helicopters and four-wheelers and all the different stuff where you just, gear gets tangled and you're moving around a lot, you're sitting and standing, pockets get shifted around, stuff falls out. If that happens, I want to be able to find it easily. Also nice if somebody else sees it fall out because of that nice bright orange. That saves me from having to track back, 3 or 5 kilometers or whatever in order to find this, which I have had to do with other gear. Really nothing to it. That barrel spacer open back design is going to make it nice and easy to clean. Liner lock, thumb studs, all this basic R.A.T Model 1 stuff. The R.A.T Model 1's not supposed to be a fancy knife, not supposed to be anything too unique. It's just supposed to be the ultimate basic everyday carry. It's kind of the basic bitch of the knife world, which is why I had no interest in the R.A.T models whatsoever, because to me, they just didn't look as fun as these other models, which just, I don't know, a bit of a nerd, bit of a martial arts guy. I kind of like the looks of some of these more tactical-ish, or at least more unique designs. I kind of always actually considered the Blur to be about the same too, where it's kind of just very generic looking, and I never had any interest in it, except for the fact of the assisted open, which is kind of a big deal in Canada because that's about as fancy as you're going to get as far as things with springs and buttons and all that. So until I use this thing for a little bit, I'm not going to have a ton to say about it, other than I gotta say that action's pretty nice. The Model 2's pretty smooth. For the price of it and the materials, like, it's quite smooth indeed. I don't actually know what the washers are in these. Is it phosphor bronze? I'm really not sure, but I do know that it's got quite smooth action for a cheap knife. Actually, it does reverse flick quite well. I keep this one fairly oiled up, but it's really impressive for the size and affordableness of this knife, how well it works. And the same for the big guy here. Flies open, no problem whatsoever, fresh out of the box. I guess let's also see just how sharp this thing is, which OS 8, you can get this thing razor hair popping sharp, no problem. It's not going to keep the edge forever, but we're going to find out just how long this one lasts compared to the cold steel. Will it reverse flick? Oh yeah, it will, right out of the box. That feels pretty awesome. How's the detent? Pretty damn good, which is something I'm paying more attention to because I may have kind of nick's a light word, nicked my finger with this R.A.T Model 2. If you carry knives in the opposite pocket that the pocket clip is set up for, which is dumb, you will have the knife sitting frontwards like this. It can open up on you instead of being facing the back of your pocket where it's gonna run into the back of your pocket. So because I have all these extra knives, and I'm normally always carrying the Manix 2 in my same exact spot, which is basically there for reflex, so that in case I ever had to draw it, in case of an emergency, whatever emergency you're thinking of. But I do not promote the use of knives as weapons, or I'm not promoting the selling of weapons or modification of weapons or anything like that, just to make that clear. normally carrying this in my main pocket, I normally have something else in my offhand pocket, which has recently been the Model 2. And I had nicked myself once by driving my knuckle down into that tip when it was slightly opened, and didn't cause a lot of blood, but it sure felt nice poking the bone with that tip of that D2 steel. But a few days ago, I actually went and did it again, except this time I went right across the tip of that blade, and it actually opened up that finger decently enough. Not that bad, didn't need stitches. Could have used one or two maybe, but it actually should heal quite nicely. That was only 3 days ago, and it's coming together quite fine. But I might do a whole different video talking about carrying pocket knives and what the safe way and not safe way to do it is, because I've certainly stabbed myself a few times carrying knives in ways that I shouldn't have. I've also nicked my belts and done different stuff like that, so maybe keep an eye out for that. And if I've done that video, there will be eventually a link up here somewhere. It's one of these corners anyways with a card. So it feels pretty good there. It shouldn't be an issue, but it certainly could open up a little bit if you carried this in your offhand, but I don't see why you would. And if you're carrying more than one knife, maybe just be careful how you're carrying it. Clip seems okay. I kind of like the spoon-like feature, kind of like this spoon clip from Spyderco. Seems like it should be quite easy to draw, but also quite easy to get in and out of your pocket. Does that sound weird when I say draw? I know this is not a revolver and we're not cowboys. It just seems like, I don't know, drawing it from my pants. Removing it to unsheath it. It all sounds ridiculous, right? Drawing sounds sensible to me. Nice build for a knife that I paid all of $60, $55 Canadian. So I think you're getting this for around $40 American. Well worth it. I mean, bang for your buck, probably one of the best budget folders you're going to get for that price. And it comes in all kinds of different colors and materials and not blade styles. I'm pretty sure you're always going to get this drop point, but it comes in a few different steels, at least D2 and AUS-8. You'll see this guy in all kinds of videos from here on out as a main size comparison along with that R.A.T Model 2. Two of the models I definitely knew I needed to get as soon as I decided to start this channel. So thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the full review eventually once I've used this thing for a few months. And for now, this is the Hard On Gear channel, signing off.